give us an introduction of who you are, where you came from, and kind of take us up to today's point of view and what's got you into this creative financing.
Absolutely, man. Chris, thank you for such a great, like, an amazing introduction.
It's only the best for you, man.
Man, appreciate it. Hey, so my name is Darlington Nagu. I'm an investor out of Houston, Texas here. So as Chris said, I am a creative finance investor. It's funny, I'm actually sitting outside of a restaurant. I just had a meeting with another investor, and I'm trying to buy his portfolio of 10 houses with seller finance. So this is the best time. And I could actually talk about that.
Man, yeah, let's use that as a case study.
Absolutely. I'll let you know how that goes. So what I do is I buy houses with creative financing, ideally specific for seller financing. Creative finance also incorporates not just seller financing, but we have subject to when you're actually buying a property, taking over the mortgage. You have novation agreements, where it allows you to work with the seller to be able to flip the property. And then, of course, seller financing being the most popular. So again, I want to say thanks for the amazing introduction here, and let's get the show rocking.
So, how long have you been doing creative financing?
So for right now, I've been doing creative financing for the betterment of the last 3 years now. I ran out of capital, so plain and simple, ran out of cash, and I said, hey, you know what? I want to be able to buy houses too, and I said, hey, you know what? Let me figure out a way to buy these houses without money out of my own pocket, or by just putting deals together. So yeah, it just became a need. So out of a straight need is why I did that.
Darlington's a busy man. I like it. The hustle is always strong.
There was a truck that was passing by. Okay, so there you go. Now it's good.
So when did you get involved in real estate?
Oh man, I got involved in real estate was back in 2017.
Okay.
Bought my first quadplex in 2017 here in Houston, Texas, and that's a story in itself, man. I learned a lot, man. It was a bad buy. It was a bad buy. So lost capital actually in that deal. So that goes to start where I had to start thinking outside the box, which eventually led to the point of utilizing creative financing in the last 2019.
So you must have really believed in real estate as an asset to be able to recover from a bad buy like that, a loss. And today
absolutely.
You're still in it and winning. So where did you really get the fire for real estate? What made you believe in it so much?
Oh man, it was back in 2019 that really took a turn for me. I was working, I'm a registered nurse. That's what I do as my 9 to 5. But I was working on a doctoral program, increasing my education in nursing. I was working in a nurse anesthesia program, and got in there, man. And I tell you, I was sitting down in class, and I was hearing about how much work I have to put in, and you can make this great salary. That's fantastic and all. But I was studying one day, went home, was studying, just like I always did. And I came across a YouTube ad, and it was Max Maxwell was on the map, and he was talking about wholesaling real estate, how real estate can take him into, financial freedom eventually. He owned all these types of real estate investments and things of that nature. And even though I already owned property myself, I knew it was a great avenue, but I knew it was a great vehicle, but I had no idea that there were so many different facets of real estate investing that people were taking advantage of. So I just said, hey man, what am I doing? I'm not doing something I enjoy. I literally left school that day.
Wow.
I quit, man. I quit my program. I couldn't believe it. It was a very scary moment, but I did it, and I just say, I quit that, and I just started buying real estate more, not just as a one-off investment thing, but really making it my career.
So tell me what your start looked like. I mean, did you just hop on the computer, go to Zillow, find a house, throw down your savings, bought the house, and boom, it was just glorious after that? Give us your start.
No way, man. No way. It was a Bigger Pockets podcast. It was we'll listen to the podcast, watching shows like this, and to get an idea of what the heck the power of real estate could be. I learned about the BRRRR strategy, right, earlier. So I learned about the BRRRR strategy. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that BRRRR strategy there. Learned about long distance real estate investing. Actually, when I had bought that quadplex, I was living in Los Angeles, California, and the quadplex is here in Houston, Texas.
Wow.
And that's why it was such a bad deal. I didn't learn, right? So I didn't learn that way. But I did do that deal and learned a lot from it, man. So I've dived in so much more in education now. I've probably spent the betterment of about $60,000 in just real estate education alone. I can't get enough of it, man.
Dude, I hear you there. This year I'm probably a little bit over that by the time I get to the end of the year for self-development.
Yeah.
But that's why we see ourselves grow at such a rapid pace, because we put ourselves in those environments. It does cost to play, and we get around individuals that are like-minded, that have already. That's how I met you, was at an event.
Yeah.
And then you started speaking more about creative finance, and we're in the room listening to people talk about how to creatively finance real estate on an apartment size level.
Yeah.
We're making those connections. We're learning about how to have tax savings through IRAs and all this other stuff. So the investment cannot be forgotten about. You have to make those investments for your self-development. For mental self-development and for whatever skill set that you're going for. And the vehicle of real estate, I have just been blown away with the possibilities that can be made from it. So, so I got to ask, how in the world did you find a quadruplex in Houston when you're over in California?
Oh, man, that goes down to that, like I'm talking about the Biggest Pocket podcast, and they were talking about the longest real estate investing. So I read the book, watched and listened to a couple of podcast episodes, and to say, hey, looking through the MLS, was how I found that deal. Looking through the MLS, calling local real estate investors, in local REIAs, and kind of getting an idea of the area. Talking to agents, of course.
What's a REIA?
The Real Estate Investment Association.
Okay.
Real Estate Investor Association. Yeah. So that's what it sounds for. So local REIAs. So basically, these are areas where like-minded individuals, real estate investors come in together. They have monthly meetings. You can find a REIA in any city that you're at. You can just by typing in local REIA, and you're able to find these guys that are actually doing deals, who know the city, who know the area. So by doing that, I reached out to a lot of them. Although I was in LA, I reached out to a lot. Reached out to the REIA owner, who put me in contact with a lot of people, a lot of real estate agents in the area, and then settled in on this fourplex that had incredible numbers. The operating cap rate, right? I know your guys know about that, was about 16% when I calculated.
Wow.
And I was buying it at 11%. So it was already over that 10% cap rate. But should have done a little bit more research and learned about war zones and things of that nature. So it had some tough scenarios, but that's part of this, right? You're going to learn, and as long as you continue to keep going, you're going to end up being the upside is phenomenal. You can't go wrong with real estate. And
so tell me about your next deal after the failure. Tell me about your next deal, how you found it and how you financed it.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, so second deal after that, so I knew that was a terrible deal. Ended up having to get out of it real quick. Took a loss of about $40,000. I know that most people are like, that's incredible, but I made it up really quickly. And the reason how I did that is I got through the same REIA, found some wholesalers. Some wholesalers had some good deals with good numbers on it. Ended up picking up 2 properties from the wholesalers, and then went to do light rehabs on these properties. I still own them today. One of them has generated $175,000 in equity so far.
Wow.
The other one is about $125,000 in equity. So those 2 deals at that point in time were like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. So I had to kick rocks with the fourplex, but ended up picking up 2 more single families. Had a lot of capital and cash because I was waiting for other opportunities. And I've been living it large with this too.